All right, guys. So many of you have been asking for this. I wasn't going to do any Black Friday videos. I was going to stay away from it. I was going to be like, no, I'm just going to cook food. But I've had a bunch of people ask me for advice on different gear. So I'm going to go through everything that's in my camera bag. I'm going to break everything down for you and tell you why I love all the things. In the spirit of Black Friday, I went today and I got myself a new bag. So not only am I going to be taking everything out of my bag to show you what's in my bag, I'm also going to be putting everything into a new bag. A couple months ago, I went to Peak Design and I got their tote. Now, I really love this tote for a variety of reasons. It's got these two giant windows on the side that allow me to access the inside of the bag. It's got some pretty cool dividers on the inside that allow me to make shelves. It's got these tethers on the front, which unclip and can clip and reclip and change position. It's got a tether on the bottom here. It's got a tether on the back. Behind me, it's got handle grips and all kinds of places for people to store things. Plus, it's got this pocket on the front. It's got these two handles here, which are magnetic. And then the opening, which has a zipper, which I literally never use, which is also magnetic. This is my daily bag. I love this bag. This bag is fantastic. But I have been noticing recently that it's been really heavy because of all the stuff that I carry, and the space inside, while I can fit everything I need in it, it's very compact and tight, which isn't necessarily a problem, but I wanted something that had a bit more room so that I could maybe throw on a jacket or a windbreaker or an extra umbrella or something else into it and not have to figure out how to reorganize everything. And so I got a different bag. But first, we're going to take everything out of here and I'm going to show you everything that I use on a daily basis. So first and foremost, let's open up the side here and we're going to take out my daily driver, right? So this is the Canon EOS R. This is my daily driver. I love this camera. I use this camera all the time. It's got a Mikey grip on the bottom, just to add a little bit more functionality. But the cool thing about this Mikey grip that's on the bottom is it's got rails on the side. And so it allows me to slip it onto literally any tripod without having to have an additional tripod mount on the bottom, which I think is great. And then I have all my little Peak Design clips on the sides for my Peak Design straps. This camera is a lifesaver. I had the 5D Mark IV, I had the 6D, I had the 6D Mark II, I had the 1D. Those are all great cameras, but they're all reflex, and this is mirrorless, and this is such a massive upgrade to all my old gear that I really could not recommend this camera any better. I know this is the first version of the R series that ever came out. So this is 31.2 megapixels. So not super high, but I mean, it does the job perfectly and I get amazing shots out of this. In addition to that body, the two lenses that I use almost every single time I go out and shoot is this one, which is the 85 millimeter macro, and this one, which is the 35 millimeter macro. So these are the RF series lenses. These are not the L series. So this is the USM image stabilization version. This is the 35 millimeter macro 1.4. And then this is the 85 millimeter macro 2.0 f2. And this is also the USM image stabilized lens. Now, again, these are not the L series lenses. While I think the L series lenses are fantastic, they're also, in my opinion, outrageously overpriced. I had primarily all of the prime L series lenses that were the EF mount, recently traded all of those in. I got a 24 to 105 millimeter L series RF lens. And to be honest, I didn't like it. I didn't like the structure. I didn't like the sharpness. I didn't like its movement. It was very clunky in how I felt like I was always having to change focal lengths. And I just didn't like it. I like prime lenses. I like knowing that it's a set focal length and I can adjust my body accordingly versus the lens. So these are my two daily lenses, the ones that I use all the time. I love these lenses. They're fantastic. let's dive a little bit deeper into the bag here. So I have my Peak Design strap. I could not recommend the Peak Design straps more. I have 4 of these. I love them. I use them all the time. I always have one I have one in every single bag that I have. So whether it be my laptop bag, my camera bag, whatever, I have one of these Peak Design straps in every single bag because I have I have the Peak Design tabs on so many different things that are not even like camera bodies. And then I have my battery bag. Okay. So this is important. I think every photographer should always have a battery bag. Obviously the reasons of having batteries, but this little bag compartmentalizes everything that I need in it, which is really great. So I have my 4 extra batteries. I always have a battery in the camera itself, but I have my 4 extra batteries, which are always charged. I have my port replicator for my laptop, or I can even plug this into my camera and replicate more ports. And then inside the same bag is let me see if I can find it. So it is the SmallRig RM120. This is literally the best little LED panel that I've ever used. I cannot recommend it enough. It changes, it's full RGB. So it can change to literally any color that you decide to change it to. The daylight equivalent is really, really smart. So it can be super, super bright daylight, 5,600 Kelvin, or it can be 3,200 Kelvin, whatever you're comfortable with using. I have used this. I have 2 of these, and I have often used these for all my lighting when I'm doing shoots outdoors, which is amazing. These are so bright, so useful, so compact, and it just fits right here in my little battery bag. And then these are just the Canon LPE6 batteries, which is funny. So those are the same batteries that I used with my 5D Mark IV and my 60 and my 60 Mark II, and they also work with the Canon R series. I know that the newer batteries have a little bit longer longevity, but I already have these batteries and they work great. They charge great, and I don't see any reason why I should need to upgrade my batteries at this time. Then in addition to that, let's see, we're going to pull more stuff out. All right. So I know a lot of photographers like to use the lacy external drives. I have a few of those. This, on the other hand, this is the Seagate 5 terabyte. This is a drive that actually is specifically meant for Xbox, but you can format them in a way that it can work for your camera, and it's 5 terabytes. This drive cost me $109, and all I had to do was get a 10 gigabyte sync cable that goes from external drive to USB-C, and I can plug it directly into my camera. This is fantastic. I have 4.5 terabytes of photos on here, and I can plug it into my laptop. I can plug it into my desktop. I can plug it into my camera. It does everything I need it to do. It's fantastic. I love it. And then we have the MacBook Pro. And this is the M1, but I love this. I love this laptop. I use it all the time. I am not a huge fan of Mac, and I'll say that first and foremost. I think that Macintosh, Apple as a company, overprices all of their equipment, and their software just really isn't that great, but their hardware is pretty good. And I just don't see any reason to downgrade or upgrade or laterally grade to a different PC when I already have this. So this is the SmallRig 10W Max. This is such a fantastic light. It's USB-C chargeable. It's got a 5,000 milliamp battery. It is super, super bright. It has 4 color modes: daylight, red, sunlight, and then blue. But the cool thing about this flashlight is it is focusable. So I can change the focal length of the lens that's on the end of the flashlight, and it has a very sharp edge when I'm using this to light a background. So I'll use this to light a background when I want to create a halo and then put a model in front of it. It's got 3/4 inch light stand mounts on both sides of it, and then one right here on the back, which I actually have a SmallRig cold shoe mount to. So I've actually mounted this on top of my camera a few times. But the very specific reason that I got this is it has this adapter here, which I can put on the end, and then it creates a cone. And with this cone, I can then use different attachments that will create different lighting effects, which is just a different lighting modifier. And those attachments are all these different designs. So it could be a square, it could be a triangle, it could be a small circle, it could be a 1980s sunset style, different windows and grids and all kinds of things. And I just slide these in to the end of this silicone head, and then I can put this on the end of the flashlight, and it creates that different design, which is pretty cool. So then I just put this on the end here, and then it allows me to create a smaller circle, and then I can even focus the flashlight even farther to get that smaller circle, or whatever design that I decide to add to it. So you could use it outside of using it for photography as well if you wanted. I think it's fantastic. We have this little tripod that I have. So I use this sometimes when I'm shooting video, but it's just a little handle, and then the little handle has a tripod on it. And so I could then use this to actually put my light on. If I wanted to put my light on this and put this in a funky place where if I'm on like a hiking trip and I want to set it on a rock, I just set my light on that, and then I have a way to adjust my light and modify the subject that I'm shooting. I also screw this into the bottom of my camera every now and then, and it's just a really fantastic little handle tripod. I recommend all photographers have one of these at all times. Then we have, so this is a little, this is funny. This is a little Lenovo Mint box that I got a while back. I got this at some tech seminar somewhere, I don't remember, but I now use it for my SD cards. So I have all my SD cards in there, and that's just a nice little case that I just throw in my backpack wherever I throw it. And then last but not least is my little Tactica knife. And I love this little Tactica knife. It's fantastic. It's super small. It's super sharp. It's compact, and it's got a locking mechanism, and I can just throw it in any little pocket within my bag. So that is everything that lives in my bag on a daily basis. Again, this Peak Design tote bag is really fantastic. I cannot recommend it enough. It is a really good bag. It has these really cool, and I'm actually going to pull this out, but it has these really cool dividers on the inside. And I will actually end up taking these out of this bag and putting them into the new bag. But it's got these really cool dividers, right? And you can flip them down to have one solid shelf within your bag, or you can flip them up to have 3 different compartments. I think this is a really unique design when it comes to storage solutions for inside of your cases, inside of your backpacks, inside of any sort of cubes that you use for packing. These little shelves are great. I absolutely love them. I use them all the time. All right, so now I will show you the new bag that I literally just got an hour ago from BandH. And the reason I got it is because it is on Black Friday sale, but also it is something that I've been looking at for a while now. And when I saw that it was marked down 50%, I was like, I justifiably cannot not get this bag. This is the new Nanuk N-PVD 18 liter. There are a few very specific reasons that I got this bag, which we will go over. The one thing that this bag does that the Peak Design bag does not do is it has these really thick, supportive shoulder straps. And to me, that is really important because while this is a good bag and I like it a lot, I carry a lot of weight. And I'm usually carrying about 75 pounds. And these shoulder straps on this Peak Design bag just do not cut it. So I needed to get something a bit more heavy duty. It also has the chest strap. And I don't know about you, but I will say that any bag that I find that ever has a chest strap, I will always gravitate to that bag. Because I like the chest strap. I'm often, when I'm running, I'm pulling my shoulder straps forward. That way it doesn't move around a lot and jostle things all around when I'm running. And I can't emphasize how great it is to have a chest strap. So that was number one that I was, okay, I feel like this is a must. The other piece is it has this extendable pouch on the side, which I can use for a water bottle, but I'll probably actually end up using it more for a tripod because it has this strap up here and then it's got the pouch here. So I can throw a tripod in there and I can secure it on the side here. And if there's anything that I want to slip into here, like waterproof bags for my camera or anything like that, I can throw that in the side here and that's a great spot for it. But the number one thing that sold me on this bag, and I'll be completely honest, and I'm going to open up the top here. The number one thing that sold me on this bag is Nanuk makes this shelf that sits in the top of the backpack, and it's very removable. But I have not found any other bag maker that makes one of these trays. And it's molded, it's felt, it's got the Velcro on all the outsides. But this to me is the perfect storage compartment addition to the inside of any bag. And I honestly mean that with all sincerity. This is the only reason I bought this Nanuk bag. I actually would have bought probably like 6 of these if Nanuk sold them separately and just put them in my other various bags. But it was this specific thing right here that made me buy this bag. This is the only reason I bought this bag. It has a bunch more like inserts in it, which are great, and compartments, which are great. Nanuk does something unlike a lot of other bag makers with a lot of their inserts. They do this triangular cone, and that adds a lot of extra support and structure to the bag, which are great. And this bag has so many different dividers inside of it. It literally comes with more dividers than I probably need in the bag, if I'm being honest. So there's one there. There's one, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 6 dividers in total in this bag, which is great. And at 18 liters, it's huge. So there's so much space on the inside. And then on the left side of the bag is a full pocket. So I can open this guy up and I can access everything that I need to within the side of my bag, but it also has these other little storage zip pockets on the inside of that pocket. So the storage capabilities of this bag is just really crazy. And I'm so excited to put all of my stuff in this bag. But again, even with all the extra little pockets, even with all the extra little additions that goes in and all the little straps and the waterproofness and everything that makes up this bag, also there's a laptop pocket right here, which is great. But aside from all of those things, the number one reason I bought this bag is for this tray. And I cannot emphasize how fantastic this tray is. So anyway, again, if you want a really solid bag that has a lot of really good features to it, the Nanuk N-PVD 18 liter is a fantastic bag. If you're not carrying 50 to 100 pounds of gear every time you go out shooting, get the Peak Design Tote. The Peak Design Tote is a fantastic bag. I love this bag. And it comes with these 2 modular inserts, and they do everything you need to. I've been using this bag for a couple months now, and I really like it. But again, I need something with a bit more structure and that can carry a bit more weight and that is a bit kinder to my shoulders. I hope that is enough information for you guys. If you have any questions on any of this gear, you want the specs for everything and links for everything, I will provide those in the description of the video. But yeah, that's pretty much it. And I hope you guys have a wonderful Thanksgiving, and I will see you guys later.